You saw that hit marker, right? They have 100 HP left? Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Chad. Back here over on some more XDEFIANT. Definitely had to get more time in before the servers end up going down. Right now, it's actually 2 a.m., so I've actually been playing for a few hours at this point.
Got him back.
So basically after an entire day of playing the game, or at least like 12 hours or so. One thing I will say, the one thing that I noticed the most in comparison to like the previous tests or anything like that, number one, the biggest issue that I'm having with the game so far is weird latency issues. Like, it's weird. Like, in front of me, they're not lagging, and I'm not lagging in-game, like, in front of me. It's almost like rubber banding. Like, just basically dying around corners and stuff. That's pretty much the biggest issue that I have. And it's weird when it's a game where it seems like the hit detection is incredibly good and precise, and the game is very, very responsive and smooth. I would say before the game felt really responsive as well, but it felt so responsive and tight that it almost was kind of clunky. But now it all seems really smoothed out. I've seen some people complaining about the movement in the game, saying that it's somehow worse. I think the movement is actually better. I'm not running into any weird issues where my slide cancels aren't coming out, or my bunny hops aren't doing the thing, or anything. Like, everything is responding absolutely perfectly. So I've seen people recently say, with XDefiant missing, you know, its little release windows that we were talking about, their window of opportunity with player count and everything for Modern Warfare 2, they ended up missing that opportunity by a wide margin at this point, where now it's just, it could be its own thing whenever. But a lot of people are saying, well, why would I play this when I could just go and play Modern Warfare 3? Modern Warfare 3, Sledgehammer actually cooked. They did a really good job. Here's the thing about it, though. Call of Duty, you can't guarantee that every single year they're going to have the same things every single time. We can't guarantee that all quality of life things are going to all carry over either. That's just how Call of Duty is, because we got 3 different studios that, for whatever reason, don't always go and take each other's best quality of life things and combine them. They almost seem like they try to compete. Like Infinity Ward, for example. We already talked about it for literally a year straight with Modern Warfare 2, about how Infinity Ward just sticks to all the decisions that they make, and they do not change their mind. If they have a vision, that's how they're going to execute it. Doesn't matter how much feedback we give, no matter how bad of a decision something is very unlikely to be changed. Or if they do change it, it's done very begrudgingly. Treyarch, I would say, is kind of in the middle somewhere, but Sledgehammer actually has full-blown humility and will admit it. The game's got some problems here and there, you know, little things like this, but the game itself plays very well. Besides the weird little rubber banding here and there, the game is really good. Now, we know that Sledgehammer will sit there and fix all these issues. I talked about this to a whole lot of people, even when people were shitting all over Vanguard, and I was saying they will listen to the feedback, and they listen to a ton of feedback over on Vanguard. It's just that people didn't care because they wouldn't have played Vanguard regardless whether it was a good Call of Duty or not. That's just the truth. People were dead set on not playing that game. Also, the state of Warzone at the time with the map and everything, and the way that people felt about that map and not being able to play Caldera and all that stuff, there was a lot that went with it. But Sledgehammer makes changes. They have humility, and they're able to go and say, yeah, you know what, this is kind of stupid, let's change this back or revert this change or whatever it may be. But one thing that even Sledgehammer hasn't moved on is skill-based matchmaking. I don't mean to beat a dead horse, because I know that people don't want to sit there and hear about skill-based matchmaking all the time. It's been done and talked about to death. Pros and the cons and whatever side of the fence that you're on about the whole thing, or whether you even care or not, or whether a casual even notices what that is, whether a hardcore player even understands what's happening. Even if Sledgehammer did great with Modern Warfare 3, which I agree, they did. It's the best Call of Duty since the modern era. Next to Cold War, it's a little mixed. Obviously down to my opinion as well. But if you go and look over at the player counts over on Steam charts, you can see trends. If you see it on one platform, it's likely you'll see that trend on a different platform as a cross-platform title. Modern Warfare 3 and Sledgehammer has managed to actually stop the bleeding of the player count for Call of Duty. They actually got a net gain of players instead of losing more in the past 30 days. But one thing that even Sledgehammer isn't going to bail on is skill-based matchmaking. The main thing I'll say that I noticed about playing XDefiant this entire time is that I noticed the fact that there is no skill-based matchmaking actively every single game, which then makes me feel like I don't know what I'm going to get in my next game. Whereas with skill-based matchmaking in place, if I do well in a game, I know that my next game is going to be incredibly hard fought. And it's not like it's ranked, it's just public matches. I would have a game where I absolutely slaughter everybody, and then I'll get into another game where it's much, much harder, much more sweaty, but I still fight and stay afloat. On Modern Warfare 3, I would expect to go and get into a hard lobby no matter what I do. Whether I do well or not, my score per minute will be high, and the game will then match me with other people that have high score per minute. This game, I can sit there and drop damn near 100 kills, and I don't need to guarantee that I'm going to have an incredibly hard game and a whirlwind of pro-level matches game after game after game. Now, the game is sweaty, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's an absolute noob fest where everybody sucks. There is a lot of good players, but the matchmaking being not skill-based, some of those people can end up on my team. We can have an entire game where all of the best players end up on one team and all the bad players end up on the other, and it's a complete stomp, as opposed to doing skill-based matchmaking, they will guaranteed put me on the worst team and expect me to have to hard carry their stats up to match the other team. It just feels bad. The better you get at the game, the worse it feels. And another thing, I can actively tell how much better I am than other players on here because I'm able to actually see and measure my improvement. I know that the games I'm having aren't completely doctored in a way to make me feel like I should or shouldn't be better. I don't feel like I'm constantly having some sort of like psyop done on me. It just feels like an actual community of players that just queued up and we happen to be queuing around the same time and we match together. That's how the shit used to work. There's definitely pros and cons to having skill-based matchmaking, but one thing that isn't mentioned a lot is fatigue. I'm able to sit here and play this for hours on end without any fatigue at all. No matter how sweaty some games can get, even a few games in a row, it doesn't actively feel like the odds are all against me. It doesn't feel like there's a system is tailor-making my game a specific way. And you can feel it. The more games you just play and you see how random each and every single game is. See, that guy is sitting there bunny hopping his shit. Meanwhile, the other dude, look at this. He's hopping around the corner. Meanwhile, the other dude barely knows how to get a bunny hop off. It's not ranked, it's public match. It should just be everybody. Simple. I think once they end up fixing this whole network issue where you're kind of like dying around corners and shit, maps are great, flow is great. Some spawns could use a little bit of work in terms of like objective spawns, especially in Hardpoint, called Occupy, I think, on this game. There are some spawns where it's like incredibly one-sided, but past that, those are just like little adjustments that could be done. This lobby's sweaty. We might lose, but I have hope that the next game could potentially be easier, whereas with skill-based matchmaking, there would be no hope. And also, I could just leave this without worrying about needing to get matched into a harder game next time. I can just leave a match if it's just too hard, and I won't immediately get connected. Instead of playing against Optic Gaming, I'm now playing against FaZe Clan. It won't put me into a CDL match, guaranteed. It'll put me into an unranked public match with the rest of the community. The skill-based matchmaking systems make me feel like I'm some sort of fucking animal getting tested on, seeing how I react mentally to things. How long does that fatigue last? How long can the creature stand it? It's annoying. See, I dropped 50 kills right there. Only 2 players on our team go positive. We almost win though. 3 people on the other team managed to go positive and do well, but the other 3 people on their team do terrible. But they won. They happen to get the better of the roll of the dice. It's fucking fun. You ever play a game where you have to roll dice? A game of chance? And the thing is, you get a higher and higher probability of a lobby being easier for you the better you get. The better you get, more players that you're better than, making it more likely that you will have more success in more matches. Till inevitably, in a couple games, you get matched with somebody that is in the same position as you to reality check you and make you realize, oh shit, this is not my ceiling, I can get even better. Then eventually you're styling on those same people that you thought were good before, and you can actually see the progress. You can see where you came from. You can look back. Skill-based matchmaking is like being on a fucking train car that's going in one direction with no windows. You don't know how far you're going, and you're only going forward. Faster and faster, more and more intense, the more you play. Whereas no skill-based matchmaking is this beautiful, serene thing. You can see in front of you, you can see behind you, you can see everybody and everything that you're passing. It's a beautiful experience. So I'll be sitting here chilling for a few games in a row, 4 or 5 games in a row, chilling, smashing lobbies. And then you get into one of those lobbies where it's not an easy lobby, and then you go, oh shit, I gotta lock in. And then you actually lean forward. What the fuck? That is the fastest teabag I've seen in my life. The gunplay plus no skill-based matchmaking feels amazing, and it allows me to be able to play without any exhaustion at all. Not to mention, Call of Duty is designed in a way with all of these challenges and these stupid little things that you want to do. Like, oh, get X amount of headshots, get X amount of kills through walls, get hipfire kills, get all these really specific kills. The challenges are built in a way like you're in a casual match, but you're not. You're in an unmarked rank mode. I do well and everything, but again, it's just exhausting to do it. And every single time you queue, you have to sit there like, oh, here we go, it's gonna shuffle me into the deck again, and I'm I saw some people complaining about connections and stuff, but I haven't had any connection issues whatsoever. I'm not lagging, my ping isn't bad, although I do have a good connection and everything, so obviously people aren't gonna all be that fortunate, but East Coast, prime times, all that stuff, I had good connection all day. I do know some people that definitely had some connection issues, so like their ping is just high because they're on the West Coast or whatever. We got 2 people carrying 4 people on our team, 2 people carrying 4 people on the other. This barrier is so strong. I was using Libertad for a while, but now that they nerfed it, I mean, it's not like it's bad. It's still really good for like, I'd say like Occupy and stuff, but it doesn't necessarily save you as much, which is fine. I mean, it definitely needed to get nerfed. I almost killed that guy. Holy shit. The AK, I don't know. People keep talking about the ACR. I think the AK is better. I mean, maybe somebody could do a mathematical breakdown, but the AK feels better. It just does. Feels like it's got more damage. It's me and Uno. Come on, we can do it! We're missing a player too. Shit. I do think the MP7 really close range just shreds almost everything in the game, I swear. Man, push it.
You're officially under arrest. Hostiles are having that.
What happened? Okay, I apparently killed them both with one shot.
Drop, I fucking love you.
Oh, GG's,
Now
baby, good
everyone
care.
Holy shit, bro. No fucking way. GG's, bro.
Dude, I was just talking about skill-based matchmaking. I'm like, dude, look at this scoreboard. Dude, we literally got like 2 people carrying our team, 2 people on the other team carrying the rest of them. This is how it's supposed to be, baby.
Hell yeah, baby. Let's fucking go. GG's, man.
GG's. And it's not even an insult to those guys. You know how much I wish I could get carried? Especially coming from Call of Duty with the way that they do you on there and force you to carry damn near every single game. I want to get carried every once in a while. It's like somebody that like makes dinner every single night or some shit like that. They want to get dinner made for them at some point. You know what I'm saying? I want to have the work done for them sometime. If I'm carrying a lot, please, I invite you, carry me. I love me some carries. I enjoy it. I love that shit. I might get car sick, but I love the passenger seat. XDEFIANT, you know, it has a couple issues here and there overall with like the weird dying around corners and stuff. I need to make sure that Mark and all those other guys are aware of that. That is pretty much the biggest issue that I'm having with the game so far. I partied up with people, no problem. My connection feels good. I wasn't having any issues, but I know a couple friends that have decently high ping. But that's mostly if they're playing on, you know, East Coast servers from West Coast or something like that. Balance-wise, I mean, it's hard to tell at the moment what is and isn't the best. I don't really have the numbers or anything like that, and generally what I see with everybody having every single thing available to them, I've seen a healthy amount of people use a whole bunch of different stuff, myself included. I mostly use the AK, I use the MP7, sniping a little bit, not a ton, use a little bit of the ACR. I even used this double barrel shotgun just for a couple kills with the choke on it. This shit was one-tapping people within like 5 to 8 meters or so. I've seen the LMGs tear people to shreds, the SMGs, the ARs dominate. I know a lot, especially a lot of mouse and keyboard players with this SSR marksman rifle, tapping people in the head with it. I'm having a lot of fun.